What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into another episode of the Daily NBA Show here on the X Factor Network. Welcome. We are very excited. Lots of games on last night. A lot to break down. A lot of high scoring from players pretty much in each game. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. X Factor is for the people. We're here for you. Let's get this thing rolling. But we'll get right into it. Fred, last night, these Atlanta Hawks came out on top 136 to 112 over the Pistons. It was a great game for Cade Cunningham on the Detroit side, 35, 9, and 8, which kind of surprised me because it's like DeJounte Murray was guarding him the whole night, but he's so solid. They had a lot of bodies to be able to throw at him. And on the Atlanta side, Trae Young finished with 36 and 12, DeJounte Murray with 26, 4, and 5. What stood out to you about this game, Fred?
Just that duo is so elite out in Atlanta. I think, even before the season, I thought, when the trade first happened, I didn't think I didn't really see how it would work. And then I kind of broke it down. I was like, this could actually, turn into something great here. And even though Cade, had his way last night, I still think DeJounte Murray is still such a great on ball defender. And Trae Young's playing, out of his mind, MVP level. And the Hawks bench, I mean, I love Onyeka Okongwu. I thought he gave them great minutes. Aaron Holiday as well gave them, a lot of lift off the bench. And then, of course, on Detroit's side, you still have Bogdanovich filling it up. And Cade Cunningham scoring 35 points without hitting a three is pretty impressive.
Yeah, yeah.
So the Pistons, I think they'll be fine. They're just really young. And,
that Hawks bench, Okongwu had 16-7. Aaron Holiday had 14, 2, 3, 2 steals on a block. AJ Griffin even had 10 points in 5 minutes of playing time. Yeah. So you like to see that. Bogdanovich still had 22 for Detroit. Started off pretty slow though. But other than that, nothing really stood out from that game. John Collins only had 4 points and 10 rebounds. Questions there, but I think it's just a matter of getting everybody together at the right moments.
Right.
The Orlando Magic got their first win of the season, beating the Hornets pretty easily, 113 to 93. For the Orlando Magic, Paulo had 21, 12, and 7. A great night for him. Wendell Carter had 15, 5, and 4. Mo Bamba had 19 off the bench. And Okeke had 10 and 6 off the bench. I really like Okeke. He's a really nice role player there. In Charlotte, nothing stands out. Gordon Hayward had 18. Kelly Oubre had 12. Nick Richards had 14 and 6 off the bench. I like this win for the Magic, Fred. I don't know about you, but I do enjoy watching this Magic team.
Yeah, dude, Paulo's the truth. I mean, we praise him, daily on this show that he's the real deal, and I think he continues to show it. And on Charlotte side, I mean, you can tell that roster's, especially without LaMelo, is struggling. I'm surprised they have 2 wins, honestly, at this point.
Yeah.
Nick Richards has been a nice little lift off the bench for them, just casually putting up good numbers.
Yeah. This Hornets team, I feel like, has just got a bunch of guys that a lot of teams could potentially try to go after towards the trade deadline to try to fill in some spots to make their team deeper. But yeah, I like this win for the Magic. I'm hoping they can pick up some momentum and get a couple more wins here in a row. I don't expect them to be really good though throughout the season, but they are a fun watch nonetheless. Yeah. Out in Boston, we had a great game. The Cavs come out on top, 132 to 123. One thing I will highlight: the tandem of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both scored 32 points, and on the Cavs side, Karis LeVert and Donovan Mitchell both scored 41 points each as well. So high scoring affair from 2 duos. And even still, the Cavs big men were able to get involved. 19 and 10 for Evan Mobley, 12 and 11 for Jared Allen. Other than that, nobody really scored a whole lot for the Cavs. And on the Celtics side, Al Horford had 12, Marcus Smart had 11. Fred, that's a scary, scary sight to see the Cavs get rolling like that.
Bro, without Darius Garland too. I mean, that's crazy. Karis LeVert, dude. I mean, dude's wired to score, and Donovan Mitchell's playing, at a high level. And then you add in the defensive efforts with Jarrett and Evan, and the shooting of Dean Wade. Like, they have this complete team, and their bench is fine. It looks like they've narrowed it down to a 9-man rotation.
Yeah.
With the injury, so I'm excited to watch Cleveland going forward, even though we can't watch them because they're blacked out, but a team definitely to keep track of. And then on Boston side, man, you got the duo with Jason and Jaylen Brown. I'm still waiting on Malcolm Brogdon to kind of have that breakthrough game. So kind of keep an eye on that. But I think both of these teams will be just fine going forward.
Yeah, there we have it. The 76ers got a big win last night without Joel Embiid.
Needed
112
it.
to 90. They beat the Raptors. For the Raptors, OG Anunoby with 19 and 9. Pascal Siakam still playing very, very well. 26, 10, and 6. And Gary Trent Jr. with 14. Fred, I'm going to pass this right off to you. Tyrese Maxey, 44 points last night. You were watching very closely. Just get into it.
I mean, 15 to 20 from the field, 9 for 12 from deep. He didn't miss in the first half. I mean, the kid's an absolute freak of nature. I mean, I'm so glad Doc Rivers said, "Hey, go give Tyrese the ball and let him work,"
Yeah.
especially with Joel on the bench, and kind of let James Harden play that complementary role. And I think it definitely worked. And I think they will continue to give Tyrese the ball going forward, just because that. I mean, he's different, bro. His speed and his craftiness, it's insane. And you combine his shooting ability. I mean, I if you could even call this a breakout year, because I thought he broke out last year, but
Right.
I predicted that he would continue the rise, and I think we're going to start seeing it. And I hope this is the 76ers momentum win that they needed to go forward.
Yeah. For the 76ers, James Harden only with 11, 4, and 4, but you would expect a lower night with Tyrese shooting that well. D'Anthony Melton stepped up into the starting lineup, had 13, 5, 6, and 5 steals. That is, I mentioned that early in the season that he was a great pickup for them. Other than Matisse Thybulle finally getting some valuable playing time, 21 minutes tonight, 6, 3, 3, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. That's what he's there for. So I'm glad to see Matisse Thybulle really finally getting some playing time there.
Yeah.
The Indiana Pacers defeated the Washington Wizards on the road, 127 to 117. Tyrese Halliburton continues to light it up, 25 and 12. Miles Turner had a great night as well, 27 and 10. Buddy Hield with 25. Aaron Naismith with 15. I mean, this roster that's not the best, but they have a bunch of guys that can go off like that nonetheless. Benedict Mathurin with only 11 off the bench, but he's a rookie. I'm not going to beat him up too bad. And for the Wizards, Bradley Beal with 31 and 7, Kristaps Porzingis with 22, Kyle Kuzma with 18, Monty Morris with 5 points and 12 assists. Not the best game to watch last night, but I do like the fact that Miles Turner had a great night. Buddy Hield continues to have a good. Those guys are going to be traded ultimately, so they need to get their name up. Fred, what would you trade for Miles Turner? I mean, what in your eyes, what is he worth?
Just by himself.
Yeah.
I think he'd be worth a first round pick. I really do. I really like Miles Turner. I think he gives you a lot, not only on the offensive end, but the defensive end. I think he has that shot blocking, rim protecting ability, but he can also go off for 27 and 10 like he did last night. So I like Miles Turner a lot. So if I'm a team in need of a rim protector and also a scoring, kind of a shooting big, because he can shoot it, I would definitely give up a first for him, because I think he can make your team a lot better. And I think it should happen soon. Get him out of Indiana.
Yeah, I think if you're an NBA fan, the Pacers should be a league pass team to watch just because they have the opportunity to light it up. Buddy Hield shooting phenomenal. And Tyrese Halliburton continues to just play phenomenal. I think he's a top 3 candidate in my eyes right now for most improved player, just from
100%.
what we've seen out of him. The
And
Bucks
Buddy
coming
Hield's shooting lights out, so I assume he'd be traded very soon.
right. Bucks come out on top 119 to 108 over the Knicks. Giannis with 30 and 14 and 9. Just typical Giannis numbers at this point. Scoring is pretty spread out though from there. Grayson Allen had 17, Brook Lopez 14, Javon Carter 14, Drew Holiday 16, Bobby Portis 12 and 12 off the bench, and George Hill with 12 off the bench as well. Just this is the best team in the league, and we're seeing it night in and night out. And for the Knicks, nothing really stood out. RJ Barrett had 20 and 5, Julius Randle 14 and 12. Jalen Brunson only 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Not worth that money in my opinion. I think everybody is pretty hard on how much, because obviously when he's good, he's great. But when he's not having a breakout night, it's numbers like this. So it's just not going to take your team over the top, in my opinion, if he's one of your top 2 options.
He's such a good number 2, but as a number 1, I just don't think it's a fit. You know what I mean? And they play well. I mean, I think they definitely have a fun bench unit as well with Obi, Emmanuel Rose, and guys like that. Jericho Sims, not really getting much run right now, but Isaiah Hartenstein's been good for them, so I think he's kind of stolen those minutes. But we'll see with the Knicks. I think I think they'll exceed expectations, because I like the role they have Julius Randle playing right now, but we shall see. But the Bucks are just unreal, and they're missing their second best player. So
yeah, there's only 2 teams left in the league who haven't won a game and the
Thank
Lakers
God.
are still one of them. They
Love
lose
it.
102 to 111. For the Lakers side, LeBron had 28, 7, 5, and 4. I mean, LeBron's going to put up those numbers regardless. I just don't think this was a great game from him. Russell Westbrook came off the bench for the first time, and it seemed to work out better. He had 18 and 8, still didn't shoot very well.
On 6 of 17 shooting, though, in 5 turns.
Yeah. So I mean, it's slow improvement, I think. But if he can figure out a way to stop taking so many jumpers and just get to the rim and keep control of the ball, I think that's big. Kendrick Nunn, only 12 minutes of action tonight and 9 points. He's really disappointed, I think, everybody. Other than that, nothing stands out from this Lakers team at all.
Anthony Davis not playing again.
Yeah.
That's not surprising at this
One
point.
thing I will say is this game got down to the wire. The Lakers had an opportunity late in the game to come back. And what I noticed, I was watching this game with a friend, and LeBron came down and gave the ball to Austin Reeves 2 possessions in a row. LeBron, if you want to be considered still one of the best players in the league, why are you giving it up to Austin Rivers to go get you a bucket? That's just, in my eyes, that's ridiculous. For the Timberwolves side, Rudy Gobert, 22 and 21. He absolutely just dominated the class last night. There was nobody that could stop him. There was, even when the Lakers started to make a comeback, he would get an offensive rebound and an and one or a putback dunk. It was a phenomenal to watch. Karl Towns with 21, 8 and 7, and Anthony Edwards with 29. It was a good game for the Timberwolves in my eyes. We've all been pretty hard on the Timberwolves, but I think playing the Lakers, who have a guy like LeBron that could, I don't think there's anybody that could really match up with LeBron, but they were able to contain him enough to get the victory nonetheless. Yeah. So hopefully this is a positive turn for the Timberwolves.
Yeah, and I like the role Karl Anthony Towns has been playing too. I think he's done a great job in that role. It looks like a more facilitator role, looks like, through 6 games. So it's pretty cool to see. I think him and Rudy, I don't know what it looks like going forward, but for now, it looks pretty good.
Taurean Prince had a good game off the bench as well, 13 points and 5 rebounds, 3 steals. San Antonio Spurs came out on top 129 to 124 over the Chicago Bulls. This Spurs team is a team that's never going to go down. If they go down, they're going down swinging. Jakob Poeltl, 21 and 13. This man is if you are a team that wants to contend, you need to have this man circled on your list of players to try to go after.
Actually averaging 16 and 11 right now.
he's so solid. Keon Johnson with 33 points. Blake Wesley with 10 off the bench, and Zach Collins with 16 and 6 off the bench. And for the Bulls, nothing. DeMar DeRozan had 33. He hit 20,000 points last night. So congratulations to DeMar. That's a big accomplishment. Kobe White with 19 off the bench, and Andre Drummond with 17 and 14 off the bench. This is my problem with the Bulls team and why I had them so low early on, is because they're just so inconsistent in my eyes. There's no reason you should be losing to a team like the Bulls. I mean, we did see no Zach LaVine last night for them, but they still have the talent. They still have the better talent, 1 to 15 when it's down to it. So I have a problem with the consistency from the Bulls side. I don't know about you, Fred.
Yeah, they also don't have a facilitator right now. I mean, they had 20 assists on 47 made field goals. I mean, it's not a good clip. And you got, on the Spurs side, 37 assists on 46 field goals. And Keldon Johnson just still proves to be a really good pro for San Antonio.
I called him Keon earlier. My apologies.
That's good. But yeah, so the Chicago team's good. Again, I think they're missing that facilitator. And I just wish Lonzo was healthy, because I think that puts them over the edge. But for now, DeMar DeRozan just keeps being that scoring threat. And I'd like to see Vucevic do a little bit more.
Yeah, there we have it there. Another game we can quickly get through. The Nuggets came out on top 117 to 101. Nikola Jokic only with 12, 10, and 6 and 25 minutes playing time. Michael Porter Jr. had 22 and 13. Bones Highland off the bench, 26 points. I think that was a big factor into why people had him 6th man of the year. And for the Jazz side, Lauri Markkanen had 17 and 10. Other than that, nobody really stands out a whole lot. Ochai Agbaji finally getting some good playing time, 19 minutes, only 9 points, however. But yeah, there's nothing much to get into with this game. The better team won.
Yeah. I mean, going forward, I think the Denver is just going to keep going and going, because, I mean, you have Jokic putting up 12, 10, 6 and still winning by a lot, and having Michael Porter and these other guys step up. And I think that's just huge for their confidence. And I'm ready for and Jamal Murray's only going to get more comfortable and get back into game shape. Right. So I think his numbers will start to improve as well.
A good game out in Phoenix, even though the score wouldn't indicate it, 124 to 111. I do think this was a closer game than the score might indicate for the first at least half of the game. Devin Booker with 16, 5, and 4. I did predict that they would have a lot of bodies be able to throw at him. And we did see an off night for Devin Booker from what we've seen so far. Miles Bridges with 27, or Mikal Bridges, sorry, with 27 points. Cam Johnson with 16. Torrey Craig with 13 off the bench, and Cam Payne with 12 off the bench. Bismack Biyombo also 11 and 13 with 2 blocks off the bench. I like that a lot. And then for the Pelicans, Najee Marshall still having a good game. Coming into that starting lineup, filling in for this team. That's how deep this team is. 21, 6, and 5. Trey Murphy, the third with 13. Jonas Valanciunas with 25 and 10. Fred, what did you see from this Suns team to be able to pull out the victory there, even though their 2 best players had an off night?
I mean, they're just so deep, and they've played together for so long. They're so comfortable with each other, and so far, I mean, they're 4-1. They've beaten the Mavs, Clippers, Warriors, and Pelicans. I mean, that's 4 playoff teams. So they're proving they can still compete with the top teams in the West. You know, they're Mikal Bridges, man. You know, you look at him as that 3-and-D, just an elite 3-and-D guy, but I mean, he's proven why he can be just more than that. And I'd like to see him continue to, take a lot of shots, make a lot of shots, and continue to play an elite level defense. Because, I mean, that kid's an absolute freak. And like I said before, they're just so deep, and I think they're looking like another playoff run for them is in the near future.
DeAndre Ayton went down, only played 7 minutes. He had a left or right ankle injury. I expect him. I don't think it was anything too serious. It just looked like he came down awkward on it. He might be out for a couple games, but I do think this Suns team has, Bismack Biyombo and Jock Landale has been playing well for them too. So I don't think they're going to miss him as bad as you would originally think. The Trailblazers came out on top 125 to 111 over the Houston Rockets. Anthony Simons continues to just play very, very well for this Trailblazers team. 30 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and Jusuf Nurkic 27 and 15 for the Trailblazers. Jeremy Grant 15 points, 5 and 4 with 2 steals. I mean, it's not bad, but it's like you were ideally the number 2 option for this team, and we've seen Anthony Simons step up and take that. And for the Rockets side, Jalen Green only had 11 points. Alperen Sengun with 14 and 11. Eric Gordon with 18. That's another guy. If you're a team that wants to contend, circle his name, because I think he will, he's out of there at some point this year. Nothing stands out from this game other than Anthony Simons playing very well. Shaden Sharp with 14 too. He played 29 minutes. That kid is just a freak athlete. I love watching his game and trying to see him fit in with this team. But are you concerned about the Trailblazers being able to keep this momentum going with Damian Lillard out?
I am. I am. Just because I don't think it's because they're bad. I just think there's so many teams that are so far in front of them. It's going to be hard to keep up this momentum. I mean, yeah, you beat a really young Houston Rockets team. So, I mean, I really like what Jusuf Nurkic has done. And Anthony Simons is proven why he's a great number 2 to Dame, and even taking the reins as the number 1. So I think they'll win a few more games than we probably predicted at the beginning of the year. But I just don't think they're prone to be a playoff team. Maybe a play-in game, but you got to get Dame healthy before I get on that train.
Yeah, I agree. So that's all the games from last night. A great night in the NBA. A lot of high-scoring affairs from individuals. It was a lot of fun to watch throughout the night. So we'll flip through tonight's game starting at 6 o'clock. The Miami Heat, who are 2-4, going up against the winless Sacramento Kings. I would love for the Kings to finally get a victory here tonight. I think it would be very big for them, but I'm a little too nervous to give them the edge there. So I'm going to go Miami Heat.
I'm gonna go Miami as well. I think that record's kind of 2-4, but I think they play better tonight, and I think Tyler Herro has a big night.
Yeah. The Hornets on a back-to-back tonight, taking on the Golden State Warriors. Not a team you want to see on a back-to-back, especially losing by 20 to the Orlando Magic. Give me the Warriors here and give me them pretty easily.
Yeah, Warriors by a lot.
Indiana Pacers at the Brooklyn Nets at 7:30. This one's interesting to me. I do think the Pacers have the potential to upset the Brooklyn Nets. I don't even know if it's an upset the way the Nets have been playing actually lately. But you know what? I'll swerve. I'll take the Pacers because I think they're coming off a back-to-back as well, and all their players had a great night, and Benedict Mathurin didn't. So I think those players have the potential, at least 1 or 2 of them, to carry it over to tonight, and Mathurin have a better game tonight. Give me the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Brooklyn here. I'm looking for somebody outside of Kyrie and KD to step up, and I'm not sure who that is, but I hope somebody can take the reins and do something tonight and help them out a little bit.
76ers at the Chicago Bulls at 8 o'clock. I would assume Joel Embiid's playing tonight. I think he was probably just resting for a back-to-back. So I think this will be an entertaining game. This is probably my game of the night. Actually, there's probably one more game that I would probably edge this out to, but I think this will be a good game nonetheless. Give me the 76ers. I think last night was a big win for them. I think they can get momentum rolling and pick up some more.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game. I expect Tyrese Maxey to have another big game to kind of build off his momentum. But yeah, I'm gonna go Philly as well.
This, I think, will be my game of the night, actually. It's the Atlanta Hawks at the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks still undefeated. Atlanta Hawks 4-1. Two big wins last night for those teams. I'm still going to edge it out to Giannis and the Bucks. I just think there's nobody that can stay in front of him. DeAndre Hunter can try his best, but Giannis is just a freak. John Collins can try his best. Good luck.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bucks as well.
Yep.
Too good.
9 o'clock, the Oklahoma City Thunder take on the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas. Give me the Dallas Mavericks. I do think this Thunder team has been playing very well up to this point, but we saw with the Mavericks pulling out a tight win in Brooklyn that a lot of their guys are starting to get going and play a lot better together. And I just think this Mavericks team's too deep for the Thunder. Give me the Mavs.
Yeah, I mean, holy Luca's numbers are unreal, and I think he has a big night and goes off.
Yeah, absolutely. Last game of the night. The absolute gritty Grizzlies 4-1 take on the Jazz 4-2. I'm gonna go the Grizzlies here. I just think they're too good. They're gonna play too hard for this Utah team who likes to have a lot of isolation basketball with like Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton. I do think Lauri Markkanen could have a very good night again tonight, but I do edge it out to the Grizzlies. Desmond Bane playing very well, being a very solid number 2. I'm gonna go Grizzlies.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Grizzlies as well. I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be closer than people think, but I am gonna go Grizzlies.
There you have it. There's all the games. A great night if you're not doing anything for Halloween. If you are, I do think this will be a good night to go through and at least flip through the highlights late tonight after all the festivities or early tomorrow morning. So be sure to check out those games and be sure to let us know what you think and how you thought about those games. Other than that, thank you so much for joining in. Stay safe this weekend. A lot of stupid activities going to be going on nonetheless, but we will see you tomorrow. Hope you have a good night. We'll see you then.